Greetings, listeners and viewers. Your host for the night, Zach, here, introducing you to The Call of Cthulhu podcast by Twisted Gears Studios. This episode is quite a bit longer than usual, as it is our arc finale, so please brace yourselves for a 2-hour episode. As well, please stay tuned after the episode for updates on The Call, Spacers, Kofi, and plans going into the new year. But for now...
Last minute for investigators. The actions of Gohl have certainly disrupted the cultists' plan. Too few remain for the assault of the monster outside to stop the investigators from delving through the strange labyrinth and coming upon what appears to be the architect of the lodge's plans. Dr. Barnabas Jones, thought dead back in Swill's gullet.
Spicy.
Well, hello there.
It's slurp carbonated water.
Oh, it's carbon. Oh, don't slurp. Extra bubbly time. Extra bubbly time.
Down my front too.
So the game is starting off quite well. I'm feeling much more loose now. The game's starting off really well. I need to keep happy because of all the horrible things that are going to happen to you. I need to keep myself loosey-goosey.
I hope this doesn't set the tone for the rest.
The tone will be much worse than this once I get into it. But we're going to skip the luck thing. I think everyone pretty much has full luck right now at the moment anyway, which for the start of the game is 75, because I don't think, correct?
Yeah.
We're going to skip the skills because I believe the people listening and the people watching would just get right into the game. Because at the moment, those skills aren't going to save you. Let's be honest. Right? They're just not.
Thanks.
But I wanted, No, they will. Okay, we'll see. We'll move on.
Yeah.
So just to describe the layout of this room again, as you came through the maze of non-Euclidean pillars, if you will, they didn't seem like they should stand up, but I'm not going to describe them again. Just listen to the last episode.
That's fair.
50 times would be great. It's a nice number. It's a nice number.
It's round.
It's
nice numbers, but we won't pump those numbers up.
Yeah, we're going to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Kind of want this to get pumped up,
Okay, so we're all a bit giddy. We're all a bit excited.
Right?
They're waiting for me to crush their
You
hopes
said
and
it this
dreams.
time.
As long as we save the world before we die.
So I'm going to describe the room again, although you could just listen to the last episode, but it's a fairly large circular room. I gave the dimensions in the last episode. It's not going to be overly important other than realizing that the room seems quite large, and there's these pillars surrounding the room, and on the pillars are sconces connected, and there seems to be torches in each of them, and they seem to be giving off that greenish flame, similar to what you saw in the catacombs beneath the Corbett farmstead. Remember, the lights were given it from the gas, whatever, but there's a slight greenish flicker to those flames around. It is fairly cold in here. There seems to be a cool breeze. And the room, I say a lot. I need to practice. But there's a dome that rises up, and there's a circle cut out, and it seems to be open to the air. And it seems to be some kind of blizzard. You can hear the sound, almost like a whistle, of the wind hitting that opening. If you take an empty propel and go, burp, burp. That's not the noise, because I'm bad at noises.
I'm sure I'll find a good sound effect.
Right? Yes, you will find the perfect sound effect.
Ambiance.
Now, behind the pillars, because the torches are all on the front facing the inside, behind them it is a bit dark, so the outer edge of this room is in darkness. Okay? I'm not sure how I described it last time, but that's how it's being described this time. Errata! So, now, right below that hole, and the same size as the hole, seems to be the large well. Like the grandfather well, all other wells that you have ran into that were weird has been wrought from this well, it seems. Almost exactly. And there seems to be runes or something carved in around the well from the arc that you can see. Okay. There is, like I described last time, a figure standing facing the well, and as it turns around, you see that slightish reddish hair. Marianne's like, what? No! As the figure turns around, and you can see almost like slugs, and you're familiar with it now, so I can't say you don't know what it is. but there seems to be running under the skin constantly, making almost like a flux, like a distortion effect on the face. But even with that, Marion, you recognize Barnabas Jones as he puts this smirk on his face, and he sort of looks at you all, and, what do we have here? Ragtag bunch of fuckwits. Have you come to kneel before a god?
I'm just gonna shout out, Dr. Jones?
Called it. All right, pay up. Did I shake anyone's hand? No?
No.
Damn it.
No, we shouldn't gamble. The Dr. Jones, what is happening? What are you doing here?
Well, Marion, I believe it is. And as he focuses on you, you start getting that headache again. You start getting that you had attributed to getting cracked in the side of the head by... Was it thug number 2? Was it the one who's dead?
They're both.
I can't remember.
No,
Actually,
they're not. One escaped.
No. Frank escaped and Joe died horribly. Okay, let's be clear. But you were cracked. I believe it was by Joe. You were cracked in the side of the head, and your neck was certain. I believe over the last few episodes, you've been having these weird sensory effects.
And
but
the noises from the gun, in the back of my head, this pain.
Exactly. So you start getting this headache as he focuses on you as you ask the question. Also at this point, because I did forget to mention, and I'm just going to throw it in there, that as you're all now standing in here for a second or two, you smell. There's a smell in here. Now, it isn't exactly like rotten meat, because you're quite familiar with that smell, because I overuse that a lot. But it's almost... You all recognize this now as almost similar, although stronger, than this... Excuse me? You all recognize that it is similar, but a bit stronger than what you smelled at the haunted house.
Yeah.
That mold.
Yeah.
That mold.
Like musty.
Yes, exactly. So let's just quickly just go back for a second as he looks over, focuses on you, says, Marion, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. I've always been here. Or at least as long as I can remember. And at which point, you see his face change. And it's sort of like the slugs, as they're moving across the face, distorts, and the distortion goes away, and you see Heinrich's face. The scarred face from... I mean, for a demolitions expert, he certainly looked pretty rough. And he did die and blowed himself up, so there is that.
So maybe not so much.
But it had this, this scarred face from something gone wrong, if you will. With like a determined eyes. Like it looks exactly as you remember Heinrich. Specifically Agatha and Marion from when you had the encounter in the library itself. And then once again it flows across and it changes to Alistair's face. Although it's not Alistair's beat up face from what happened here, but just as Agatha looks, the beautiful face of such a sexy man. Smexy. Just bright and beautiful, that just this...
Minus the slugs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, there's still that distortion, but it looks like Alistair's face, like you when you met him outside of the New England Center of Antiquities.
Right.
When he walked up with the button, the collars.
Unscathed, perfect in every way.
Tell us how you
Exactly.
really feel.
Wow.
Exactly. I can already tell this episode's going well. Then it flows again almost immediately, and you see a face that you're not really familiar with. It's like unkempt hair and this crazy darting eyes. Seems to be like an X scar. That's the right side of my face. An X scar under the left temple, sorry. I'm going all over my face.
Like worms.
Which you all sort of recognize. Specifically Amos, because
that right here.
that it seems to be the description, well, actually it would mostly be Amos, the description that Bill, your friend Bill, before he was eviscerated, Let's take a couple of seconds of silence for that. Okay. The description of Michael Thomas from the raid, from the, Bill recalled early in his career that he had seen. Yep. So you recognize that, specifically Amos recognizes that face. But also, then it flows again and you see Skeet's face. And the thing it's Skeet's face and it's sort of smiling eerily. It's not really a smile you've seen on Skeet's face, but it's this eerie, smile, almost really a condescending smile, but then it flows again. And you... Yeah, yes, it did never. He's not capable.
He doesn't know that word.
No, he's not capable of that at all. And then it flows again, and you see Skeet's face, and it looks angry, which is also a face you haven't seen, Skeet. It's shown an array of emotions, because then it flows again, and it's almost just like a determined Skeet's face. Which, I don't know how... That's the easiest way for me to put it. And then it flows again. It seems like it's going to turn into another Skeet's face, and you can see... Barnabas sort of shake his head and go, ugh! And he seems to be looking frustrated as he comes out of it. It's not as much shock, but frustrated. And at this point, actually, before we move on, I would just like everyone to roll me a psychology roll. Right? To see this frustration. To see... So, Althea?
56 and a 10%. I have the basis.
Oh, that's right. You have credit rating. You don't need psychology.
7 out of 81.
Oh, that's really good.
Wow.
Amos.
Amos. My extreme's at 12 and I got an 11.
Nice.
Well done. Double extreme.
I only got a 69 out of 55.
69.
I thought you'd be so sad, but 69.
My psychology is really shit, but my psychoanalysis is...
It's the shifty eyes of Althea that stunned us for a second. Shifty eyes. So we have 2 extreme successes, right? So Marion and Amos, you both recognize that whatever is happening with Barnabas, with the slugs, or whatever ritual that's happening, he does not seem to have full control. And it sort of reminds you a little bit as well of all the different figures that look like Skeet. And how when he was losing control, it just kept making Skeet. Or that face, whoever's face that is, it keeps making that face, and he had to sort of, force of will, drag himself out of it. Yeah. So is there anything you would like?
Looks like you got it all under control there, bud.
Agatha?
With my eye.
Yes.
And seeing things. Am I seeing anything on the floor? Am I seeing anything that's around?
Oh, similar to the tower.
That's good.
When you were in the tower.
The freaky eye.
Yeah.
The layering.
With the yes, with the freaky eye. That's very,
better than me
very
being
good.
sassy.
I'm not even gonna.
Freaky hole.
Oh.
Freaky hole 69.
Why'd you say it like that? Good Lord.
I didn't mean to be honest.
I don't know. I like it.
This is how we know we're spotting things is at 69.
Okay, now people, let's keep it together. This is a very serious game. I'm not even going to call for a spot hidden.
Oh, okay.
Agatha. You can, for the rest of you, I'm just going to say that the way it's written on the floor, it's not outlined. It's not like this white chalk that's going to show up a lot. It's almost, you're not sure, but there's some other liquid that's used to put it into the floor. That's almost because of the darkness and the flickering torches.
It's written, not carved.
Yes, it's written.
Okay.
But this would be for Agatha. You notice through your eye hole. I don't know how else to put it. Your gaping eye hole.
Jesus.
Why would you say it like that? That's how I'm gonna think of it forever.
Yeah. Okay. I hate to do this because this is so interesting. That you see is sort of a slight glow coming up from all of these symbols and runes that seem to be, you can see the front part that's curved. You would assume it goes around the whole well.
Okay.
But you're not entirely sure, but this arc that you can see. It seems to be glowing a little. And then you remember that you're in the tower and it looked like the experiment was a success. Remember I said the other ones, like at the Corbett Farmstead, which you never really had much of a chance to explore, but there was some white residue and stuff there. And also in the Church of Contemplation. And also in the Church of Contemplation, where the tower was there, Gohl's tower, you saw similar works being done, but they seem to be almost like trying to refine a ritual. But in the tower, the Agatha and Amos that you both saw, here it seemed to be correct. It seemed to be like the end result of all these other experiments. But you had recognized at the time that seeing it through your eye hole and overlaid with your actual eye, you realized that no, it wasn't correct. Only someone maybe with your capabilities could be able to, because it needed to be layered a certain way. So even though it looks correct, you know in your heart that it's not.
Okay, so it is exactly the same as the tower writing with this one, so it's not actually correct.
Correct. I mean, not correct. You know.
Okay.
You are right that it is not correct.
It is not correct.
Yes.
Okay,
You are right.
All
It is not.
You're right. It's fucked.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, so you notice that. Also at this point, before I move on, and I'm not even going to call a check for this, because at this point, I mean, what's the point? At this point, you all sort of notice that even though Skeet came in with you, he's not there. You seem to have lost track. And Althea, you notice because he was
my gun.
because he was near you, but he seems to have slipped away. And you do know that Skeet can be quite sneaky.
Where's Regal?
Regal actually seems to be... Regal's usually hopping around. Like, just being a raven. But this time he's not hopping around. He's around just a foot in front of Amos. And he's on the floor. And he just seems to be not moving. Almost like putting... trying to protect you. Like trying to sort of standing at attention in front of Amos.
My boy.
Yeah, is
Big creepy boy.
yeah, because last episode, I believe it was, you have seen
Something else.
what
He's
Regal
a badass.
is.
The true form of Regal.
That he's a badass. He saved you.
He was terrifying.
But he did the rescue, so we're all right in my books.
Absolutely.
So, so that's sort of, and also before I forget, there's so many little things I want to make sure I get right now. English language. Right. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. Perfect. That the ground is sort of rumbling. Not like throwing you around or anything, but you can feel that
It's those
slight,
tremors that
like
we had
slight tremors. And as you look down, also there's some rocks and stuff on the floor. You can see small rocks like slightly be moving around. There's this, and you recall that there was bigger tremors back in Meatville.
Did you just say
Yes.
Meatville?
I did it with like that.
It's the much less desirable version of Margaritaville. It's where you go after you've had too many margaritas in Margaritaville.
With these tremors, can we how they're feeling? Can we centralize where they're coming from? Like, are they coming from the well, or is it something that is?
That is a good question. What would that fall under? Geology?
Natural worlds?
Natural world. I will allow a
Hey.
natural world check for that.
Good
Oh God, I only
idea.
have 10%.
Same.
I'm gonna hold off for a second. I'm gonna have you all hold off for a second.
You son of a...
As because I have so many of these dice, I'm gonna say that Leo, Rosa, Lindraska, and Josiah are going to give you all a penalty die in this roll.
Didn't they all fuck us over last time?
Yeah, they hate you. They like during the book club. They were telling me when I was waiting for my Tetley tea to
The
Steve.
book club?
What book were you reading?
Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut.
Nice. Oh, they don't like me at all.
Yeah, no.
91.
91. Perfect from Marion, and we go to Althea.
Both my rolls are 60%.
What's your natural?
Out
roll?
of 26.
Yeah, so you're not going to burn 34 luck. Or 35 luck. Okay, we're going to go to... I can see Amos's face. So, any listeners, I'm going to go to him last for the watchers.
7 out of 10%.
You're not going to burn 67.
No,
Like, you might need that to live. As we move on.
It's either a 13 or a 13.
Oh, fantastic.
Out of 10, and I will burn the 3 luck to make it a 10 just because I'm so close and also has a hearty fuck you.
And because you're probably not going to live long enough to make the XP check, normally you don't get an XP check for a big... Well, with a penalty die you should. Give yourself a tick in natural world.
Yourself for
It's something that's no longer going to.
Yeah.
I don't like that
If
statement.
the tick was in staying alive, then yeah.
I don't like that he had that extra adage going along with it. That makes me kind of now worried.
So, Amos.
Yes?
You do realize that these tremors seem to be emanating from the well area.
I'll actually ask this. We're all kind of looking around, realizing this. Hey, so, what's in the well, bud?
Okay, fair enough. So, he looks sort of over at you, and he has this little sly grin on his face. And he's like, oh, in the well is God. That's...
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
He stops for a second, and you can tell, because of what's happening, he almost has to stop himself from going, Gesundheit, God bless you, something like that.
Marion gave me the dirtiest look.
That's fair.
Okay.
As he starts over and says, that's really good. That's really good. As he said, oh, in the world, it's God. At least as far as I've come to realize, or at least that's what Arthur and Dirk brought back.
Arthur and Dirk.
Who?
Who are they?
Oh.
Anybody? They're just outside of...
Oh.
The book.
The boat?
Arthur Gordon
Pym. Remember where that was in the book I have? And it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So-
boat log that we got as well.
but also
Yes.
the wet book.
The shit.
My book. The one
It was
that's in,
signed in like the top
Yeah.
right-hand corner on the front, Arthur Gordon Pym, and I also gave a date. I believe it
Yes.
was 1835. Yeah, I might have had a specific date. I'm not entirely sure. But we can move on because he is going to do, something that villains do, which is say some shit. Hopefully everyone's okay with it. Hopefully everyone's okay with that. Yeah. When asked, Arthur and Dirk is surprised, and he's like,
Dirk Peters.
Dirk Peters.
Yes.
Arthur Gordon Pym.
That's
Dirk
right.
Peters. Yeah. And he says, yeah, all those, God, I'd say almost 100 years ago, as far as I can tell from my research. You can also tell he's getting into, because he was an investigator for the New England Center of Antiquities, he's getting into almost falling back into that. You see it almost draw him away from this.
He's going into detective mode.
Yeah.
Let's let him give us all your notes. Yeah, this works for me.
Hey. He's a bad guy. I never said he was super good with people.
Marion is turned back. She's zoned in, focused on him.
Yeah.
That's it.
He was like, yeah, they, almost 100 years ago, I guess, there was they went on a voyage, if you will, fraught with problems, believe me. And they ended up, surprisingly, making it to the South Pole. And there, they saw the face of God. All those decades ago. It imprinted on Dirk. He was changed by it. He was altered by it. And him and Arthur brought a piece back. Like a piece of God. Do you understand what you could do with that? What laws of science you could break? And you can just see this greed. You see this greed in Barnabas's eyes. Yeah. They worked on it. They became obsessed with it. Working on it, figuring out the mysteries of creation. And they experimented, trying to solve it, as the scientists that they were. They were quite. Started realizing that they quite long-lived. Nothing seemed to hurt them the same way as it used to. And in their research, they came across a book. And it's been lost. But they came across this book, and they deciphered it. And they realized how they could change things, how they could change people. But then they hit a little bit of a snag. See, Dirk always relied on his friend. And they balanced each other out. They just balanced each other out, and they could work together, and they overcome each other's failings, and they created great wonders from it. The ability to change their appearance with a less aggressive form. But his companion was taken by another. His obsession changed. Arthur changed. He became focused on the King in Yellow. And just for a second, because I'm not stopping this villain's monologue, I'm not going to stop it.
We got him.
But I'm just going to go to Althea for a second, as we really start realizing who he's referring to. Arthur Gordon Pym
my grandfather.
is Aloysius Goodyear. Okay?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Althea, you pieced that together specifically because out of everybody, not everyone is aware. They know that you're entranced by a book, but they're not aware of how deep it goes, or they'd never let you out of a padded room.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
None of you would. If you realized the
no.
extent, you wouldn't.
You don't
But
keep the
Althea,
secrets from us.
you realize that Barnabas is referring to.
Yes, which would be helped along by the fact that knowing that my father's name is Gordon, and so he was most likely named after the original middle name of his father.
Correct.
Also, wasn't there something that people have mentioned before about your grandfather being unnaturally long-lived, or like just weirdly healthy and hale for how old he was?
Yep.
And there's no pictures of him anywhere in my home.
Correct. Okay,
I don't actually know what he looks like.
No. So I'm just going to take a step back and go back to Barnabas's villain's monologue. I shouldn't have screamed. I am so sorry, Rob. Yeah.
Okay.
And they just kept working on it until, Arthur was taken by another. His obsession changed to the King in Yellow. And Walter kept trying to do it on his own, but he got lost. He ran into problems he couldn't solve without his companion. So, I, Heinrich, and a gentleman, Father O'Malley, that's what he went by. He worked for some group called the Obscurus. I mean, he was easy to bring along. But we put a stop to what Walter was doing in the basement of his house. We put a stop to it back in 1911. We went in as he was trying to ascend, as he was trying to accomplish what I am going to accomplish. He was becoming something different. And then you all remember the creature you saw in the haunted house basement.
That was
Right.
Cotton Time.
Yeah.
So that was Walter Corbett.
Dirk Peters.
Dirk Peters.
They're the same person.
Who became
Yeah, you
Walter
caught that,
Corbett.
didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
As he's talking about this, though,
Equals thing in basement.
as he's talking about that, though, Marion, you are sort of, as you're focused in, as he's talking, and he starts talking about the haunted house, and he starts talking about, and like I said before, you start, that smell, the headache is sort of throbbing, and that smell, it's just, you're starting to feel a little bit nauseous. Specifically you're starting to feel a little bit nauseous. As at that moment he stalls for a second and he looks over at Marion as if he notices, and he just has a little, that smirk's never really left his face, but it becomes more smirky. It's the smirky smirk. He gives the smirky smirk.
Smirky smile.
And we put a stop to it and trapped him in a loop without end. And there he is still, just caught in that.
Now, what happens if we took someone out of that loop?
Impossible. The loop is without end. The loop continues. At which point, Marion, you remember when you look back to the house as you were all leaving, that it seemed like the house was imploding in on itself. But when you went back to the house all those episodes ago, you saw the house was normal and you could hear the sound of a gunshot still coming from the house when you left.
And Father O'Malley continued to feel as if he had never left.
And he continued to feel as if he never, and he seemed to be trapped in between, because the ritual was, a loop without end. But I alone saw the potential. See, he was just going around it the wrong way. See, if you could only have seen what I've seen, if I could only explain to you what the future holds. You don't know what's coming, and I can stop it. I'm gonna remake this world. I'm gonna fix these problems. The horror, you don't know what's coming. We need a new God. We need a God that cares. We need a God that'll stop these things from happening. And I finally found a way to do it.
So all the bodies upstairs, all the people that you've been killing, all the big wigs of Boston, not that I'm a cherisher of, big wigs around the city, but all the plans that you had for them tonight. That's what this whole new God thing is all about.
See, that's why I brought Gohl. Because he could see the ones that needed to be sacrificed. He could see the ones that had the power built up into them. He could see what we needed. Now, all of those rich cocksuckers, they got what they deserved, and they will just be replaced. You don't understand that I need to stop what's coming. You don't understand the deaths, the toll, the torture, the world has never seen the like of it. And I can fix it. I can stop it.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, no, go ahead, sorry.
Well,
Dylan's monologue!
While he's talking,
Yes.
do I see anything around him, like that aura that I had seen before? Is there something changing? Is there something going on while he's monologuing
So
around?
you do notice that it was almost imperceptible at first when you came in, that there seems to be an energy coming up from the well, but it seems to be getting stronger. More thick, almost to the point where the rest of you can almost see, it almost looks like smoke, like light smoke,
Right.
Whereas Agatha, fingers all over the screens, Agatha, you see it's almost moving as if it's alive.
So it's kind of responding to what he's saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all very fascinating. So then why did Heinrich and whoever the hell else you were working with not see it your way? Why is Gohl not working with you this time? Why is Heinrich not working with you?
Well, Heinrich is dead. Damn fool blew himself up in a library for some reason. I don't know what the fuck. Like, that makes it makes
trying to kidnap these two. Why was that?
That's not nearly as important as
It's,
what are you seeing?
It completely
what
does
are you
matter.
seeing coming?
Why do your friends not want to help you?
Well, they served their purpose. The purpose is done. Heinrich is dead. He was a fool. He had this idea. He thought of a different way. Plus, he didn't see what I saw in the basement of the house. It didn't affect him the same way that it affected me. He didn't see the potential. All Heinrich wanted to do was hide this stuff away. Make sure that nobody would touch it. Make sure nobody would fuck with it. Make sure that history passed its normal course is what Heinrich wanted. But we can't let history pass its fucking course. We mightn't get out of it this time. And Gohl, that monster, or I, I didn't need him anymore. He was like a child. But he saw things that other people couldn't see. At which point, Agatha, you start realizing the way he's talking, you also see things that other people can't see. You start thinking maybe Gohl can somewhat do what you can do. He is seeing things that's the victims he's choosing. There's a reason. There's a reason behind it.
Oh!
Shit!
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And you start. I'm not saying that, of course, Agatha of all people is going to be more empathetic toward Gohl, but
He did try to eat your face.
what would that do to somebody's mind with nobody to explain it to them?
Right.
And then you have somebody come along that says, "Oh yeah, they're monsters. We have to take care of this, and this is how you take care of it."
He was manipulated.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you wonder. Sorry, I don't mean to be jumping out, but I'm just trying to, because it's this finale thing that the Act 4 finale that I want to bring up certain points. Is he took a liking to you? Remember, he did attack you, but he did take a liking to you first. And you remember in the tower, you saw like a visage of yourself. He was doing. There was something about you that he felt connected to.
He attacked you
Bro.
in a friendly way.
Well, he's still crazy.
Yeah, in a polite way.
He's still crazy.
He saw something in you that he liked.
Or that he recognized.
Or he knew what was coming.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know jumping out and giving these explanations, but I'm hoping people enjoy these sort of explanations.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh
You know.
God. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're the only one that's able to see these things. Everyone else that's helped you out has turned their backs on whatever it is you're doing because they're the crazy ones. And you've seen the future of whatever it is you're going to do. So, how about this?
Antagonize him.
Tell us. Now, this is where I'm going to lead into the very good question. So tell us what you saw.
Oh my God.
Convince us better than you did your friends.
Convince us why we should accept this God.
Well, sure.
The death toll of what's coming. You think the World War caused a lot of deaths. You have no idea what's coming. The tens of millions of people that are going to die, that are going to be ripped apart. It's unbearable I had to do something. And you know what? The world needs a new god. As he reiterates, because he did already say this, he seems to be... He's obsessed. You can clearly... I'm not even going to call for a psychology check. He's obsessed with trying to save the world. By any means necessary. And he says, a world free of delusions. A world without war. A world worthy of us. We aren't an accident. And the way he says that, you can see his eyes flicker. I'm actually going to call for Agatha to roll me a psychoanalysis check on this. Being an alienist, not just a murderer hobo. Because
call out like that. Huh?
No, I'm not being called out. No, it's just funny. I'm doing it for the audience.
I mean, they both laughed, so I think you win.
I got a 5% out of 78.
But I'm taking a skill that you'll die before you can use. Yeah. No, I'm just saying this. No, I'm just saying it to be funny. I know it's not funny, but I like seeing my players squirm. Yeah. Squirm. That was awesome. As you're looking, as you're looking, and the words that Barnabas is choosing, clearly you can tell this person needs professional help. Clearly, clearly needs professional help. You do realize that he seems to honestly believe what he's saying, but when he says the last part that, we aren't an accident, there's something about the way he says that makes you think he believes that we are. He doesn't believe that part of it.
Okay.
That we are an accident. Okay? That's what you get from the psychoanalysis.
Interesting.
As the ground starts rumbling, even a little bit more. Give me 1 second here. Take this down a moment. I was secretly doing something with the dice.
Oh, okay.
As there's a stall in the conversation, if anyone else would also like to say something.
I'm going to start taking a couple of steps forward, very slowly, with my hands to the side, like trying to, as if I'm trying to reason with him.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you roll me, even though it's in clear sight, can you roll me a stealth check?
Yes.
Because being able to know with the, being able to shuffle forward without looking like you're moving, I would allow a stealth. I will allow a stealth because he may not even notice.
Ooh.
Ooh, Jesus.
9 out of 71.
No, not Jesus. 9 out of 71 is an extreme. None of you even noticed Marion move. Marion is suddenly, let's say 5 feet?
Yeah.
Just 5 feet in front. You have no idea how that happened.
Cool.
No idea.
As I'm stepping forward, I'm going to be saying, we understand. You're trying to help. You're trying to save people. You're trying to save the world. What are you trying to do? How are you going to accomplish this? How are you saving us?
And this is where some of that obsession, that you can just see his eyes just sort of focus on you, Marion, just being in front a little bit. Quick question, as Marion's moving forward, does anyone else want to be doing anything? He seems to be really focused on Marion at this moment.
I'm not gonna bring my gun up, but it's gonna be prepared. But I kind of move up a little bit, almost like to protect, if I have to protect you. But I'm not going to interfere with you.
I'm not even looking at you.
No, that's fair.
So are you like circumventing a bit over to the side, or are you walking right up to Marion? This is the question. You have a long rifle. You have a Lee Enfield
to the
Mark
side, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the opposite side of things. So if I imagine that we're here and she's going straight forward, and Agatha is going to kind of to the right to cover Marion, I will go to the left to cover Marion. But I'm going to only step forward enough to keep... Yeah, whatever distance there is between Marion, and I guess if Althea's staying put, I'll be right smack in the middle of those two.
Yeah, okay, so let's just say you're doing a little bit of the Mighty Ducks where Agatha's moving a bit to the right and you're moving just a little bit to the left. Because it's not really a large distance.
Yeah.
And then it creates that diamond.
Yes. Yes. Does
that sound about right? Althea, though, as Barnabas is talking, and you start thinking about your grandfather for a second, something in you thinks...
Something that's not me.
That's something that's not you. It's not speaking in your head, which I've done before, but you almost have this instinct that this man is a fool. This world isn't humans. This world isn't for humanity. This world is for me. That's what you start thinking. And I need you to roll me a willpower check. I am going to give you a penalty die on this willpower check. And that's going to come from, I'm trying to think of a name I mightn't have used in a while. As I look through the list. Noah? Have I used? I went through the list a bit, so.
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Just pick one.
Yeah, so instead
You're never
of
burning
doing
through this list.
Instead of doing Leo, Rosa, Lindraska, and Josiah, which I used last time, this time I'm going to use Noah. Noah's like, no. Thanks,
Noah.
I hate your face,
You
Althea.
might bring about the end of the world here shortly.
You can burn luck.
Oh,
I'd almost prefer it. What? What'd you roll?
How do you keep rolling doubles on your
What'd you roll?
They're
percentile?
both 9% out of 80.
This is
Are you serious?
You have rolled 2.
The dice gods are on our
I
favor.
looked hard because I was afraid it was a double 100 for another 100 for a sec there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm so sorry, Noah. We tried, man. We tried.
What the fuck?
We had a plan from the start of the campaign. Now I'm gonna move on to Althea now, of course, to give you the summon. So what's happening with you there now? With that extreme success, at this moment, you realize, especially in your viewpoint of the sacrifice that Montgomery made, that this isn't a voice to be trusted.
Oh shit!
That extreme success at this moment in time, you have the ability to... Is there something you would like to say to that voice to push it back? Because you are fully capable of doing it. I don't mean permanently.
Yeah.
It's too fun for me not to use. But at this moment, you have the strength of will to be like, Lobotos kick your ass. Lobotos kick your face. Lobotos kick your balls into outer space. Okay, sorry. We can cut that.
No.
Short Circuit 2, baby.
Keep most of the shit in.
I'm just going to kind of like stand up straight, find my resolve for a moment or whatever. And I'll just quietly say, as I've said before, this is my house.
Okay, you say quietly but out loud.
Yes. Yeah.
The three of you get to make a listen check. You do whisper it. There's a lot of noise, but but it's fair because it's cool.
I know, but my hearing is also still messed up, so I might not realize how loud I sound.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You're mostly deaf. This is going crazy.
I'm not making this up.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Marion. What did you get on your listen check?
73 out of 42. I am focused on Dr. Jones.
100% makes sense. Agatha.
60 out of 82.
Okay, so that's you have a great listen. You're a good listener.
You have to be. You're not.
And we go to Amos with the shit-eating green. 4.
No way.
Out of 80.
4 out of... How much did you get? You both have an extreme, correct?
No, I got 60.
Oh, I thought you said... Oh, I thought 16. I thought you said 16. Okay, yeah, but you both, on the flanks, hear Althea, not realizing because of the hard hearing how loud she was saying it, but you hear that. And as you both look back, could you both roll me psychology checks? I'm bringing in lots of rolls because I'm crazy like that. I'm a crazy keeper.
I got 58 out of 55, but I'm willing to burn... Was it 3 or 4 luck did I have to do?
Okay, before Amos says what he got, don't look. Do you want to burn the luck?
Yes.
Okay, burn it.
Is it 3?
You need to match.
Okay. So
Good. Because I did not succeed. Out of 61, I got a 94.
Ooh, rough. So, Agatha, once again, great listener, right?
Okay.
Being able to psychoanalyze crazy people, like at the drop of a hat. Like a top hat. As you're looking back, you notice that even though the words that Althea used, you can tell that Althea is more herself now than she's been in a while.
Does that mean I don't feel super confident anymore?
Althea always felt confident. If anything, the King of Yellow is less confident than you. No, that's not true. But, you realize that Althea just made some kind of, whatever Althea is going through, she just made some kind of great success toward resolving it. Okay. In a way that doesn't obliterate you.
Right.
Your friendship, I mean.
Okay.
Oh, either, really.
Okay. Is there something that you want to say? Because I want to move on to Marion again, where she stepped forward. Because I had asked. And
you can go on to Marion, because
cool.
what I was thinking can wait.
Yeah, so Marion, now that I have everyone situated, I know where everyone is. You're in the spotlight right now. You've stepped up. What did you ask again? Had to explain.
Yeah, how? You say you're going to save us. Okay. You're going to save us from this great tragedy. How?
And he's like, that's I'm going to take control of everything. Do you understand what I can do when I can make people be what they need to be? I can put people in positions where they can stop what's going to happen. Right? It'll fix everything. And I mean, it's not just for what's coming. I mean, what comes after. We need a firm hand. We need a hand that's going to guide humanity away from this just war after endless war after endless war. And you also sort of realize with that a check too that he was also deeply affected by World War I. Okay, so that's part of it. He seems to be... The thing you do notice with what he's saying, he's being very vague about how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? As if he hasn't given that as much thought as the process
of getting there.
He hasn't really thought. And you do take him back a little bit with that question. And he seems to be really focused on Marion. But was there anything, Agatha? Sorry.
I have a question, but I don't know if it's going to hinder anything, but I'm going to ask, what is the name of your god?
Fair enough. That's what you ask.
Yeah.
At which point, as he's about to answer, you just give me 1 second. I'm checking something in my notes. I want to make sure that I haven't. And I mean, you could always cut this out.
You can always do something stupid so that I don't have to cut it out, and instead just
Just stare.
Okay, no, fair enough. No. As you ask the question of what is the god's name, you see movement.
Oh. Just Agatha sees movement?
You all see movement.
Oh, God.
Coming around the circumference of the well, moving around the circumference of the well, as Barnabas seems completely focused on Marion and all of you that's been talking to him, you see Gohl. And he's really low to the ground. And he doesn't have the mask on that Althea saw in the hallway with the flesh still in it. Yeah. But there is blood on his face from where you're not sure where it is. The mask itself. But you can see his face. And it's this creepy, he's down on all fours. And it's the way he's moving. And you realize that he's moving very creepily, but you noticed this when you were... remember when he sort of spidered, he wrapped around the cultist and removed his face. Face off! That he sort of moves like those creatures you saw in Swill's Gullet. Those bone creatures that the slugs turn people into. He's not, but he sort of moves like they did.
Mm-hmm. He's got a weird fluidity.
Yeah. My God, Agatha, a great listener.
Fluidity.
She knows words. No.
She reads books.
She's a thesaurus.
In an effort to ensure that he looks... Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. I'm just gonna... because I did stop for a second. As he seems to be moving around, and it looks like on his face... Normally, when you've seen him, sometimes he has this bit of a confused look on his face. He doesn't. He does not look confused. He looks angry. Just staring at the back of Barnabas. And you think about some of the things he said, or you got him to say. Barnabas to say. And in his hand is something you've only seen once. You've seen it behind glass. In the New England Center of Antiquities, the Spear of Destiny. You see, it seems to be almost like, not like a regular spearhead, which is actually, can be quite small, but almost a Roman legionnaire's parade lance. Not a lance, but a spear that you've seen. So it's fairly large. And he sort of has something wrapped around the bottom of it, and he's holding it as he's moving up behind Barnabas. Is what you see.
In an effort to distract Barnabas, I'm going to two-pronged question here. One, to make him look this way, and two, because I'm so fucking curious. All right, Dr. Jones, riddle me this, then. Why the fuck do all your duplicates look like Skeet Wilsonbottom?
And Barnabas, okay, before I move on and I answer this question, let's just remember that. At this moment, what is everyone else doing as well? Just so I can keep, but your question is the ones that's asked. I mean, physically.
Yeah.
What's everyone doing? Your question is...
I do have my gun out at the same... It's down, but I had it in my hand. We were in, like, the Parathenum, whatever the fuck that's
Understandable.
Yeah, so I'll tighten the grip on it because I don't know what's going to happen, but that is what I'm doing. I'm standing and being the target of his focus.
And it looks like he's going to answer this question. So,
Woo!
Is there anything that...
Woo!
I think I'm seeing Gohl going around, but it's very evident he's going to go after Barnabas.
Yes.
So I'm not doing anything to aim, but I'm going to plan to aim to distract if I have to distract to have Gohl get Barnabas. So if anything else, I know I'm going to shoot off to the
Sure.
left.
You sort of, you in your mind are like, okay, if he starts to look, I'm going to shoot off here and make him look away.
Yep.
Completely fine. Marion, you also see Gohl going up.
So this whole time I've been taking slow, careful steps
I believe
forward.
you. And is it okay for me to say that everyone has sort of kept up in that diamond formation?
Yeah,
Yes.
we don't want to let you get too
Sure.
far
So like
away.
5 feet away from each other, but almost in a diamond.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to say you're moving very slowly, but you're up to around 10 feet. Let's say 15 feet. So you're around halfway to him. But
So once I see Gohl getting close to him, I'm going to freeze. But I'm still with my hands out.
Yep.
And similar to Amos, I have questions and statements if
Sure.
needed.
Okay. Because now is the time I'm going to give some answers to questions. So I'm going to, just to let everyone know, I'm going to let him answer this one. And I'm going to ask, because you've earned this. Even though it might seem as he's slowly, imperceptibly, millimeter by millimeter. Althea. And staying the way you are is fine as well.
Yeah. I might just start kind of looking around to see if Skeet's going to appear anywhere, or seeing if I can see him anywhere, especially now since his name has been said out loud. As part of this interaction, basically.
Can I have you roll me a spot hidden?
Oh, shit.
Focus, trying to track down Skeet again. I'm going to allow... Because you're also in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're also in the back.
67 out of 74. I'm going to burn luck on that one.
You won, right? You needed to get less?
Oh, right. Sorry.
No, you burned 80 million luck! No! Finally, we get the... No, you succeed on your spot hidden check. And what you see is around 2 pillars over, just slightly moved, being very stealthy, but lightly moved out of the dark, you see Skeet's handgun. As it's sort of... It's rising up slightly, facing toward Barnabas and Gohl, because you're not really sure, because they're in the same area. You're the only one who sees this, but you also see Skeet's like shadowy face, and it seems serious. Like his face you haven't really seen on Skeet, and I'm not saying that. It just seems to be focused, which is something Skeet's not good at. But it seems to be focused, and he hasn't noticed you. You do notice that the finger is not on the trigger, though. It's on the guard.
Proper gun.
Okay.
Right?
I want to, as best I can, keep an eye on where he is and what he's going to be doing here.
As now that I know the situation, we're going to go right back to the question that was asked about why do
all your duplicates, this grand plan of yours to replace all these hotshots with people, they all look the fucking same. How successful do you think this is going to work? They all look like the same person. Why?
I found it. I found the solution. I found out how to fix it. See, it imprinted. God imprinted on Dirk Peters. It's only the people that it's imprinted on that it can make duplicates of. And then you think that's the question, though.
I'm just thinking of that in my head.
And then you recall that it also makes duplicates of Marion. You realize that as well.
Yeah.
But I've finally broken that. I finally found a way. The ritual works. Is what it says. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question? Is that an answer that everyone's sort of okay with?
That finally answers the theory I've had for so fucking long. He is in fact the same goddamn person in a way, sort of, kind of. Okay.
Is there another question? And I'm just doing this that each of you, I'm sort of letting each of you get something that you're curious about. If Barnabas knows the answer, because he doesn't know everything.
So was that for answering the question about the name of the god?
Yes, he ignored that. He didn't.
Completely ignored it.
You see Gohl sneaking up.
Yeah.
And even though you asked it, because I didn't actually specify that he ignored it.
Yeah. Okay.
But he seemed to ignore it. Sorry, if we can go back and then move on. He just seemed to ignore it.
I just want to go.
Is there anything?
Swill's gullet. Was that you?
Well, I mean, it was eventually. That's where.
You summoned that creature in the lake.
Oh, no, see, I didn't know. I didn't know Glacky was there. We didn't know. I mean, that's something that I didn't quite understand why Dirk, and he keeps calling them that, Dirk and Arthur. That's something why I didn't know why they stopped doing their experiments there. I mean, it was so secluded. Right? They had dug out this catacomb underneath with the mine they were setting it up to do here. They were setting it up to do with the well. They didn't realize then that they could, come here. It took so much more work. I didn't know why they left before they were finished. It drew another one. That's what this does. That's what God is. It draws other gods. So, yeah.
Okay.
So we tried then that night, and Heinrich Stein tried to stop me. He tried to stop me up there. And he thought he did. And he burnt the place down. Or at least he thought he did. Yeah. Might sound nonsensical. Hopefully I'm not making too many continuity errors. How does everyone feel about how this is going?
That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. Fuck.
And the Church of Contemplation. Is that you as well?
Well, yeah, because I still had need for Gohl. right? And Gohl didn't understand. How could he? He's a moron. And then you see, like, Gohl is just...
So you were using him?
Yeah, of course. What else would you do with that? What purpose is that?
You never had his own goals in mind. You lied to him.
You mean Gohl or Sin Eaters?
Okay, so Althea, think about what you're going to ask, and then I'm going to answer sort of this, and then we'll move back. He's like, Sin Eaters? Yeah, I mean, seriously, come on. I know this sounds weird, this villain monologue that's giving out all these things, but...
We're having a conversation, it's fine.
We're somewhat trying to... He's like, well, Sin Eaters, I mean, they're the reason that we know it's God. Of course it is. There's something inside of people. And for some people, it's more prevalent than other people. It's what Gohl can see. Is this power that's inside of them.
Real quick, not a question to him. As apparently a half-assed Sin Eater, have I ever noticed this altered versions of people, like differences between people that are stand out?
No, you haven't noticed that, but what you do recall as he's mentioning it is, what do generally, Sin Eaters bleed? Black blood.
Shit.
Black blood.
The black goo.
What are Sin Eaters meant to do? They're meant to contain something. To contain the evil of the world.
Oh.
And just some people are more in tune with that. And some people are exceptionally in tune to that enough where... And what else about Sin Eaters? They're long-lived. Simon's pretty long-lived. Right? The nature of what God is, and I mean, hopefully this doesn't offend a lot of people, the first Sin Eater, which was brought up by, I believe it was Father O'Malley or Simon, died on a cross. Containing the evils of the world, the sins of everybody.
What? So Gohl is just really adept at it.
No, he's not a Sin Eater. He can tell. He can see the evil in him.
You're not entirely sure if you're pretty sure Gohl is a Sin Eater.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are pretty sure.
The difference
But not
is
just. Not exclusively.
the difference is that he can see where the claims are, whereas I can't.
Yeah, he's something different.
It's basically.
But he's still basic. Does that make sense for a lot of people? Hopefully,
The reason why I asked that is because he's sitting there mocking Gohl. We know the Gohl's there. So is it Gohl or is it Sin Eaters? Like, oh well, it's Sin Eaters. So we're like, oh, so Gohl's just better than you at it,
you say to Barnabas?
or Gohl's just better at it.
Better at what?
Like, sorry, I'm trying to remember the train of the way that I lined up the questions. Basically, because I was trying to ask: is this thing that you're talking about specifically because it's Gohl, or because Sin Eaters? And then he responded in kind of a Sin Eaters. So Gohl's just a better Sin Eater.
Well, I mean, I have no idea what happened to Gohl to make him the way he is, but some people just have innate talents that can be manipulated.
Just to create some context, my goal is twofold. Is to be like, cool, you're talking down to this guy, but I'm also, in a way, propping Gohl up to be like, Gohl's just better at it.
Yeah.
And not something to be belittled. He's just really good at it. Let's see what Gohl does with that.
One thing that Gohl does is, as you're saying that, and the line that you're trying to push settles in, Gohl looks over at you. And he has a little smile, like his anger just turns, and he has a little, and he's like, and if you could read minds.
I was thinking the same
If
thing.
you could read minds, you think that he's thinking, we really should have talked. That's what you get from it.
We really should have talked.
Okay. I don't mean because, it's going to go long, but Althea, was there anything... And I know this seems a bit out of sorts, but I feel like you deserve some answers. I'm not answering everything, but you deserve some answers.
My question,
I know it sounds weird.
based on the line of thinking I currently have, is all your experiments with trying to duplicate people, do they know what they are? Or do they believe that they are, each of them, Dirk Peters?
That's a good question.
And as Barnabas sort of thinks about it for a second, and it's like, well, they all have some... He's almost into like an investigative, like he's not being a god, like he's more being drawn into... He's being distracted.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of them have some idea that there's something wrong. I mean... Except for the original. In the haunted house, when he was trying to ascend and making himself, he had no longer need of his physical body. All that was left was instinct. The memories were gone. And Heinrich took care of that little problem. Yeah, the instincts were gone, but I mean, that would probably be... And he just seems... And then he's sort of like realizing what's happening, because then something's going to happen. Okay? Is everyone... Okay? Because there's only so much we can go through. As Gohl gets to... gets up right behind. And then you get that creepy vision that actually only Marion saw before, as Gohl sort of wraps himself around Barnabas. Just very fluidly, like takes his left leg and moves it up to almost like grapple him. And you can see the hand go back and drive the spear head into Barnabas. And Gohl is just so angry. You can just see it on his face. And he's just, because he talks weird, and I know I'm not going to mimic what I did before, but I still... Our friends died for this. Sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah, because really, the only time...
It was you.
Was you, but no, there was the very first time when he went down into the
I'm fine.
sewer. I'm fine.
You alright?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine.
But he's like, our friends died for this? Is what he says. Yeah. I'm sorry, he just has a creepy Tiny Tim type of voice.
Nasally.
Right? It's a bit nasally. For this? Yeah. No. It's just too far. You've gone too far. And you can just see he's crying. As Barnabas, though, after being stabbed, I mean, you would assume to see, the cinematic, ooh, and fall. He just goes limp. The moment he gets stabbed, the body, you can just see the light go out of the eyes, and the head just drops as Gohl is holding him. And in a fluid motion, Gohl puts his foot down, turns, and throws Barnabas into the well.
Can I run forward? Nope. Okay.
Well, you can make a check. Yeah, sure. You want to try to stop him from doing it?
From throwing the body.
Okay. Do you want to try to grab the body that he's throwing?
You want to step through the goo to get there?
Well,
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to try to grab whatever's closest, whether it's the body or whether it's Gohl's arm.
Okay, so I'm just going to say you run up. So the rest of you, because you're also the highest dex, 80 dex.
Yeah, makes sense.
So this is what happens. I just need you to make a dexterity check. Yeah, it would just be a dexterity check to get there as it's happening.
73 out of 80.
Nice.
73 out of 80. So as you run up, and the body's half over the well, because you need that second to be able to move. You run up and you manage to grab the body. Is easier. Okay. Because if you grab Gohl, he'll just, the body will just fall in the well.
Yeah.
Right? Because as he's attempting to throw it in. And you also notice that in the back of the body, the spear is embedded. Is still in the body. Right? He didn't, stab and pull out. It's still in there. As you run up and you grab the body, and you're almost torn into the well with it because of the strength of Gohl throwing it. Mm-hmm. Right? He's surprisingly strong. As you're pulled forward a bit, as sanity check, as you see down the well.
Oh!
79 out of 40.
Oh, no.
Okay. I need you to roll me a d20.
Holy
a D20?
Mm-hmm. Going with the big boy.
2-0.
That's where we are.
That's... Oh, it's the one. That's 20.
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
The first D20 is just a straight 20.
That's a straight 20.
You immediately
God.
lose 20 cents.
Oh my god!
You had how many? 49?
49.
No one
Now
can see.
29.
No one can see Rob's face. But their hands are covering
That's
the
5
face.
mental breaks in once.
It is not a bout of madness.
What?
It is a permanent thing, but I'm going to sort of rule it the way. Could I get you to roll me a percentage, please?
Yep.
And I need to pull up my...
She might be going in the well by choice, man. She might just be like, wee! It's better this way!
Yeah, sorry, this is hashtag Team Mary
With a question mark.
She's still alive. She can be Team Marion in a cell
She
somewhere.
might not still be alive. She's in mystery process.
87?
Question mark.
I don't know what's supposed to be good and what's supposed to be bad. I want to hide in my sweater, but I'm not wearing a sweater.
Sorry, give me a second. Give me a second. I was more
want a
focused
Kleenex
on
to
how
hide
crazy that is.
I'll hide behind my teeth.
Okay.
I behind my teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Oh
my God.
To Marion.
It's to Marion, lads. Oh my God.
I'm not going to describe what you see at the moment. I will, because I only want to describe it once. Okay? I only want to describe it once. Because at the moment, as you're holding on, you don't even make a sound. And, yeah. Similar to what happened to you up into the room when you failed the check with Gohl, where you had that mental break, it just comes back stronger. As you freeze and you just let go and you turn to face the party and you all notice something. Marion's hair has gone white. Just completely, you can almost see it happening. You can almost see it happening. I'm assuming Marion had red hair.
Actually, brown hair.
Brown hair? Yeah, no, let's go with brown
Yeah.
hair. You can almost see it happening, just the roots. Just as it spreading out from the roots. And this look of utter shock and terror in her eyes as she's focused. Facing back at you, trying to say something, and she just can't get the words out. You don't know what it is. As Gohl finishes dumping Barnabas into the well. And then the tremors stop. As Gohl turns and he walks up to Marion, is there anyone doing anything?
I'm not going to, but I'm going to kind of raise the gun just in case, but I will have it at the ready from down here to up and oh, fuck.
I am actually going to run up towards Marion for sure. If anything, to intercept Gohl if he's going to do anything.
Well, he's right next to him.
Okay,
He's
I'm gonna
literally
go.
right next.
Yeah, but I mean, if anything, like I could. Yeah, I'll be right there. But yeah, I want to run up.
You start running up.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Althea?
Althea is somewhere in between and checking to see what Skeet/Dirk is doing.
Fair enough. From what's happened, and mostly because from what Barnabas said about the original, might know. The gun is down at his side, and Skeet looks really confused. He's just... looks like he's slightly thinking about what was said, but it's Skeet, so it's taken longer than normal. Okay. I don't know how else to put it. He doesn't look like he's going to... he just seems out of sorts. Yeah. From what was said. You're not entirely sure. But that's what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to start moving over in that direction.
Okay, so you start moving towards Skeet. Fair enough, as you're walking towards Skeet,
Yep.
you notice that Skeet...
Yep.
and he seems more like Skeet than you've seen him.
Yes. I'm being exceptionally wary, though. I just have something in my head that I'm curious about. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, fair enough. So that's happening. You're ready, just in case.
The gun is up in preparation. Yeah.
Aiming, I'm allowing aiming. While you're moving up, I'm not going to allow an aim.
No, I'm not.
So bonus stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not
That's
going to
fair.
allow that
Yep.
because Agatha, as you're moving up. And Gohl has this little sort of, not a really smile on his face as he moves over to Marion. And you see him put his hand on her shoulder. Okay? It doesn't seem like an aggressive action. It doesn't seem like a super aggressive action. But you see, as he puts his hand on her shoulder, you see the shoulder crumple under his hand, and he steps back shocked as Marion's body falls forward and breaks on the ground.
Oh my god.
And then the earthquake happens. As it only stalled for a few seconds. And then the whole place starts shaking and cracking, and pillars fall. That's where we're at. Yeah. Okay, I know there's a lot of silence here. I don't mean to break it, but that's... Yeah. As then it starts, like the ground starts shaking, cracking, stones start falling down. But I will allow, first off, everyone to make a dexterity check.
Fuck.
You are going to be at Skeet.
Okay.
Is that...
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn a couple of points of luck because of how close that is to a success. It's not quite though.
Out of dexterity, I have a 95 out of 50.
I have an 87 out of 65 for Althea.
Oh, I gotta roll for Skeet. Now, would you... Oh, what did you get, Amos?
48 out of 45, but I'll burn 3 to make it.
Let's stop that for a second. To all stay on your feet, right? Because especially Lindsay, as you're moved over almost to the lip, for all of you to stay on your feet, 100 luck from the pool, and those 3 failures can be 3 successes. Those 4 failures can be 4 successes.
I was about to say,
We have so much.
we also get it?
We have so much luck that
Yeah.
that's what the group fund is for.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I could succeed with 3 points, so it's up to you
I'm
all.
going to say yes, 'cause
yes.
that's roughly what
Yeah,
I would
it's
spend
done.
in order to
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
for the fuck. That's
Okay,
not...
so you're all... Oh, well, listen. Let me do my thing. I know everyone is feeling it. I know everyone's feeling it.
Goddamn edge, buddy.
So, hashtag Team Marion. So...
There's a part of me that feels like you might not be dead, but I don't...
Okay, and let me do my thing. Let me do my thing. As the 4 of you manage to keep your footing So you're not completely like surprised. Like you're able to, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it seems like there's a pile of people from the future who paid money to make sure this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're all at your feet. Regal, who has been with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems to be hops up and actually flies back the way you came, where the original pillars come up, and he seems to just land, and he seems to be looking, waiting.
Yeah, nice.
Okay?
Good.
Okay, that's what seems to be. Gohl is, because he's not technically a member, I just want to see if he falls in. He does not.
Okay.
Fall in. He does not fall in. As he just seems in shock from what happened. Just seems to be in complete shock with and seems to be broken into pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What would everyone like to be doing? I'll start off with Amos.
Sure. Seeing as this suddenly happens and Gohl's reaction, I will also try to jet on down towards Agatha and Gohl at the...
I'll allow you to be able to move that. Would you like to do something while you're there?
Okay,
I'm willing to allow that. We're not really in combat.
My objective is two things. One is to see if maybe my eyes were tricking me. Is there anything in the dust that's left? Like, is it actually dust? Is she there? Is a bag there? If not, I'm just going to be grabbing Gohl by the shoulder and or Agatha if she's not turning, and going to try and get anyone that is still standing towards where Regal is.
Fair enough. So you're going to run forward and do that. Agatha, what were you going to do?
I was also going to run up. I'm devastated.
Well, you're already there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say because that's your...
I'm definitely devastated.
Yes.
Because
you can feel your mind break. Go ahead.
Sorry?
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh, everyone else needs to make a sanity check upon seeing what happened to Marion. Then we'll come back to this.
Yeah, fuck, that makes sense.
I have a 35 out of 37.
50 and 50.
5% out of 58.
So you've all succeeded?
All you guys had higher sanity than I
You
did.
all lose one sanity.
Yeah, that tracks.
Which is weird because that's all your life was worth.
Yeah.
That's all your life was worth, apparently.
Sanity.
Who would have thought you would have rolled a 20?
I know.
Okay, so now...
I like this dice normally.
So I'm gonna run up. Her satchel's still intact.
Okay, so you're gonna run. Since you're already basically there, what you're going to do? Well, you're just gonna move around, Gohl. What you're going to do is check her body the same way, and if her satchel is still there, grab her satchel. Is that
my mentality is? If she's gone, that satchel's everything I have only left of her.
No, that makes sense.
So I want to grab that.
Okay, now both of you together, I'll do together.
Yeah, real quick, what I was just going to say is if she's already checking there when I get there, I'm in like that same crisis aversion mode. I will only be focusing. If she's already doing that, it will be Gohl and Agatha to go towards.
Makes sense. Althea, you are standing up next to Skeet, and Skeet's looking at you, and it's a look that you haven't seen on his face. Once again, there's a lot of that going around. He does seem confused. You said something about you were thinking something when you were moving up to him. Is there something you wanted to ask him, which I'll allow? Because, hey, Act 4 finale.
Well, my line of thinking, when he was saying about, like, basically saying that Skeet looks like Dirk Peters. Dirk Peters is the original. So, Skeet / Dirk. So my thought went back to, so if he's been... And then we know the original was trapped in the basement. So if he is one of the copies or whatever, my main question was like, do they think that they're Dirk or whatever? Or is there just something underneath that's kind of confused about the knowledge they know or anything like that? But it went back to when he touched that book. And I was thinking, okay, if he thinks he's Dirk Peters, and Dirk Peters had that obsession, did he lose that obsession when he touched the book, the same way it affected Simon, whatever, or is some of the confusion dropping away? Or that was my main thing. I was like, if he thought he was Dirk Peters, did he lose the obsession that Dirk Peters had?
So I'm just going to take a second. I'm going to explain what you pieced together really quickly about the situation. From what you've got from the conversations, and maybe a little bit later, your characters will sort of realize it is. The ones that are duplicates, the ones that are actual duplicates were imprinted, were changed by either the slugs or the goo. Skeet isn't a duplicate of an imprint.
I got that.
Skeet is the body that was left when Walter Corbett's consciousness left. And what was left with Skeet was the instinctual, which is skills. He's really good at making things. He's really good at throwing things together, and they work when they shouldn't work. He's exceptionally skilled in those ways. So he is different than he is the original body.
He is the original, but he doesn't have the memories and the obsession and stuff.
He was
He's in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were to take the monster in the basement, put it inside Skeet, you'd get
like an amnesia, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep.
Okay. So that's what's happening with you and Skeet. Although Skeet grabs you. We need to get out of here, miss. We need to get out of here. This is just fucking crazy. Weird voice, but
I didn't see what happened. It's Skeet today.
Yes, I'm going to say that you did see that happening, but you're also Althea fucking Goodyear. That's why you took the sanity. You took a sanity loss. You had to make a sanity check.
Okay. I'm just going to take his hand and we're going to run out of this Indiana Jones.
Well, you're going to run toward Regal?
Yes.
And that's where I'm for that.
We're going to, get out of this Indiana Jones.
Okay. Fair enough. As we go to... I'm going to do Agatha first, but you're going to be grabbing her. Okay? Agatha, can you roll me a medicine check? You see the satchel. Marion hasn't disintegrated, but I am going to call for a medicine check as you're sort of looking down at the body, just a casual medicine check.
Okay. 19% out of 50.
Damn.
Put a tick in medicine.
That's good.
You see that it's almost like Marion, broke into pieces. Shattered. It's almost like there's pieces, but they're solid.
Like she was frozen solid?
Yeah, like she was frozen
and
shattered is what it looks like. So you can see the head and half head over here and half head over here, which is quite disturbing, but that's what you see. It's very... And you can't really place... Can you roll me a Cthulhu Mythos?
Yeah, 84 out of 14.
Okay. But it seems to be... Marion seems to be in pieces. But not fleshy pieces, solid,
Would it be
shattered.
almost like a marble statue shattering?
Almost
kind of thing?
Almost, but there's not a whiteness color or anything. It's more you can see the flesh, but it's almost frozen and broken is what it seems like.
With my eye, is there anything around it mystically, magically, or is it's just dead? Just dead.
It looks dead. But you do see the satchel.
Okay.
Right? So, dexterity check to grab it as Amos grabs you.
Well, I want her to grab it. That is also the goal.
So you're going to wait to grab Agatha to make sure she has it.
I'm going to start with Gohl to make sure he comes with, to give her the time to do it. Yeah, we're not leaving without him.
Sure. Fair enough.
I have 31% out of 50.
Okay, so, that's a fair clarification, so that check really wasn't needed, but you end up grabbing.
Yeah.
Reaching down and grabbing the satchel, and as you lift it up, Amos, you can feel Amos's arm on your shoulder, and you can feel... Oh, and then Amos, you also grab...
Yeah, I would have grabbed Gohl. To order events, I got the gun in hand, I'd grab Gohl by his shoulder, but go, and I'll point towards Regal so he sees it, and then I'll grab Agatha to drag her with me.
So, at this moment, something comes out of the well. Okay? So as you turn and grab Agatha, she has the satchel. You see a sight. Same with Althea.
Oh, God.
Because it's hard not to see this thing. And what you see, once again for these big things, I like to describe from, a description from a writing or something like that.
Quote from fucking Lovecraft.
even though he's a bit shitty.
Wow.
You see formless protoplasm able to mock and reflect all forms and organs and processes. Viscous agglutinations of bubbling cells. Rubbery 15-foot spheroids, infinitely plastic and ductile. Slaves of suggestion, builders of cities. More and more sullen, more and more intelligent, more and more amphibious, more and more imitative. Great God, what madness made even those blasphemous old ones willing to use and carve such things? What you see is, remember what you saw at the basement of the haunted house, right? You see almost pooling out of it like smoke as the goo stretches out over is almost like a big, massive, amorphous goo is what you see. And then as you're looking, you see eyes start opening on it. Hundreds of eyes and hundreds of mouths as it bubbles and forms into different shapes that you recognize. Arms and hooves and legs and everything else. You feel a malevolence as this thing pulls out, as the spheroids, almost like tentacles, are spraying blackness everywhere. I'm not going to call her a Cthulhu mythos, but just so the listeners realize, you see a Shoggoth.
Oh,
as it pools over the well.
Good.
And here's where the sanity checks come.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm not going to be a dick here. And it's fine. Is everyone failed their sanity check?
Nope.
Okay.
Depends.
Okay. This is where a lot of the luck, I know I didn't do it for you, Marion, but bear with me. A lot of the luck that people have built up may help with this. Althea, what is your roll?
67 out of 57.
67 out of 57. So that's a fail, and that's fine. I'll come back to that. Amos, what are you at?
49 out of 49.
So a success. And Agatha?
24 out of 56.
24 out of 56. So just give me 1 second here.
It was right in front of the fucking thing. Fail, you just put your head into it. It's just like, oh my God.
It's the eye.
Yeah, just pick an eye and you're like,
Give me 1 second because I forgot
Do
to
that
make
whole
note of
comedy
one
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Boop, run away. You can't see me, no. Smoke
you
on the
can't
eye.
see me. Jesus.
So each of you on successful rolls a d6.
Oh my God.
1.
You lose 1 sanity. Consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
Amos? 5 sanity. Yeah, that's still not enough to put you over the 20 threshold. Althea? Can you please roll me a d20?
Hold on, I gotta open my little zipper bag. Get out of
Can we not burn luck on these?
No, not on
can't
the sanity
burn luck on
checks.
a sanity
Sanity
check.
check.
Oh my God.
Otherwise, you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mary,
that actually
would've.
makes a lot of sense.
Okay, what did you roll? Now, I did mention luck at the start of this from the pool, but what'd you roll?
4 out of 20.
4 out of 20. Okay,
4.
fair enough. You lose 4? Well, you rolled a 20, man.
I know.
You rolled a 20.
I'm not completely. I'm relieved for this one.
None of the rest of you follow the same fate as Marion did.
I have a stomach ulcer.
As stones start coming down, and I'm going to assume you all start running toward Regal.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's the idea.
Okay.
Not that he's really any better, to be honest.
There is
He's much better. Get the fuck out of
At the
here.
moment.
He's
Lesser of two evils.
I know this episode's taken a while. Hopefully,
It's the special finale.
It's the special. It's fine.
yeah. How's everyone enjoying it?
I'm sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat.
I imagine if we're doing
I'm
a live
still
premiere right now, people are
I'm-
still screaming about Marion.
I am holding out to hope that somehow she's standing outside the manor. It's not going to hit me. No one just turns into stone and disappears. But I've seen people teleport around. Maybe she's in the basement of Mansion on the Hill.
I mean, it might be.
Okay, let's.
It'll hit me later.
You know, all will be revealed.
I have a thought, but
all will be revealed. Let's, because the episodes go long. Yeah. So as you all start running, you also hear this weird sound, which because of the rumbling you didn't hear, but it almost sounds like bird calls. Like a high shrill, not coming from Regal, coming from it. The thing. You can see it's almost making this weird, and then you realize it is bird sounds, almost like it's mimicking bird sounds. It can perfectly mimic things. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As I am just going to require
Fucking hate that.
everybody once again to make a dexterity check.
Oh my lord.
As you're dodging stones and rocks that are coming down.
can we can.
Well, let me go
No,
through,
no, actually,
and I will
no,
make
never
it.
mind.
I'll offer things because there's so much luck that people have put into the pool. We're going to start off with Amos this time.
55 out of 45.
55 out of 45. So instead of looking at normal luck now, would you like to spend 40 luck from the pool to re-roll that?
Yeah, or I could burn 10 to succeed because it's a 45. The chances are so fucking low.
You can just burn 10. You could fail worse and then have to burn more luck.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. I will just burn 10 luck and
Done.
succeed.
Burn to 10 luck. Agatha,
I got 14 out of
Good
50.
thing I did that.
that's a success.
I got
Alfie?
58 out of 65 for Althea.
Oh, so that's a success.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were worried.
No. It's the way that the dice are going.
I rolled it again just to see. It's a good thing I made that choice. It was going to be worse. So much worse.
Go with the definite thing. It's always
As you are all booking her, and none of you get stalled or hindered by the rocks falling, as you look back, because you can't help yourselves, but as you're running, and Regal jumps up and takes flight into the maze, which I'm assuming you're all going to fall.
Yep.
You hear this noise of this creature, or whatever it is, or all creatures, or whatever, even giraffes. You hear a squelching sound and this weird high-pitched like bird noises as it's pushing its massive bulk out of the well quite quickly. You can tell. And is anyone looking back? I should ask. Is anyone looking back to see what's happening?
I'd be prioritizing following Regal and I'll get lost in the maze.
As you're entering.
Yeah, same.
Okay, fair enough.
Out.
As it, well, you can't really tell, but you can tell the noise of it's close. Right?
There's a degree of expediency that it is putting on itself.
As you are all running through the maze, as you're following Regal, and Agatha, you can find your way through anyway because you can see the symbols, and Regal is dead on. Like,
yeah.
as you're all like huffing and puffing and running through, as all the rocks start crumbling in behind you, filling in the area, but you can still hear this thing coming. As you work your way through the maze, through the temple. As you get into the room with the meat, though, as you get into that room, you see that you don't see the meat or the rats. You see meat around. I mean, like pieces of bodies. Let's just stop calling. The monster was the meat, not the but pieces of bodies around. But you can see that a lot of the buildings I said on the other side, there seem to be a lot of body parts almost being dragged into the houses. You can see like where there was more windows than necessary, but you can see
Rats are pulling the remains.
Yes.
pulling the remains in. You do not see Montgomery. Okay. As you continue running, I'm assuming
Yeah.
you continue running
Get the
as
fuck outta
this
here.
all starts caving in on itself.
Jesus.
I'm not going to just keep calling for a dex check every time. This is fair. Well, not sorry, Mary. Hashtag Team Mary. As you make it, as it's all crumbling in, and then you make your way through the house that you had came out of, up those stairs, you see up those stairs that the two cultists with their throats cut, still milling around. As you have to run through, they were not killed. You fled down the
Yeah,
stairs.
well, I thought that the trumpet stop it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're still there. And Mr. Reinhold Klein along the floor. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't seem as scary now.
So
Yeah.
I would like the three of you to make luck rolls.
Eight.
Okay.
32 out of 75.
Cool.
Yeah.
Agatha.
59 out of 72.
Okay, perfect. And this is all because of the luck that our listeners, our subscribers, Tofi has given. As you manage to get through the room without being grabbed and held in place.
God.
As you hear the squelching sound down off in the distance, you're not sure. You're not sure how far back, whether it's coming from the temple, whatever this thing is, this progenitor. As you run up there, and then when you come to the hallway and the door is open on the end, remember I said you could feel that, and as you're running through this hallway, just almost falling over each other, right? Like, it's, to get out, and you get this, you feel and sort of hear something for the final time clicking into place. As you go through the door into the anteroom, remember? Like there was that, it was a slightly roundish door, and as you all go through, Skeet slams that door and closes it. And the whole house is now shaking and cracking.
The front door is right next to this door, right?
And the front door is right. Is right there. As you burst out. Okay. Gohl in tow as well.
We'll deal with that later.
And you make it outside as the house crumbles, similar to the way you would have assumed that the haunted house would have. But when you look back, it didn't. It wasn't. Crumbles in on itself. And collapses into a big, it looks like a house that has fell in on itself. And then the rumbling stops. But you also look all around the area in Boston of buildings leaning over and cracks in the road as this earthquake affected more than just the Silver Twilight Lodge. And then you're all almost in a haze. If you don't mind me continuing this, because really it's the epilogue of the act, is you're all sort of in a haze from coming through, and not as you make your way around the side to the Packard Twin 6, which seems to be in quite good condition still. And you pile all in. And Skeet is driving. And you drive back to the mansion on the hill. Not much is said. You're all grieving Marion. Even though Gohl is there, Amos is still careful. As is Colt to the side. As you pull up I know this seems like I'm streamlining things, but it's important to...
Yeah, no, this is good.
Right?
Hopefully we'll get time to poke Gohl for questions later.
As, you pull up the estate, and you're all greeted, and you're greeted with a bit of a sight. As the three of you, as you're driving up, and you pull up to the front, you do not see Cadbury come out at the moment. But as you pull out of the vehicle, walking out from the shadows at the top of the stairs, you see Marion with the Irish Wolfhound. As I need to go back to Marion and go back in time to where you fell apart. Okay, let me do... Yeah. Marion, as you looked into the well and you saw...
Fuck?
As you looked into the well and you saw what you saw, and you felt the headache, the taste of carbon in your mouth. And I'm going to go back to what was actually happening to Marion, because Marion never left the haunted house. The Marion that you knew was a duplicate, created. She was sucked away from everybody. She was down there alone.
Wait, what?
Marion, the real Marion, because sometimes the memories are tricky, like Father O'Malley. When you were down there, you remember waking up and you were rising out of this black goo that you were sort of stuck in, and you didn't see your friends, and you saw something reforming, and you looked around and you got this intense need to run out of the room. And when you ran out, you saw the shotgun. And the ritual continued, end without loop. I mean, loop without end, as Marion put the shotgun in her mouth and kept the ritual going all of this time. That's why the duplicate heard the gunshot when it looked back in. And everything just flowed like that. This loop without end. Until you ran back in and you saw Father O'Malley coming down the stairs with the Irish Wolfhound in tow. As he gingerly came forward, grabbed the shotgun from your hands, hugged you, and let the Irish Wolfhound lead you out of the house. Until you came back to the mansion, waiting for your friends, who you haven't seen in so long. Yeah, so that's Marion's fate. There's a lot of silence here.
Just to break the tension, I'm going to say technically it's only been like a week.
Okay. As I'm just doing a little epilogue sort of for everybody to a point.
Yeah.
I just need to ask, how cool is that? Okay? Like, was that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Althea, because I'm not really going to get into exactly the things that happen because the arc needs to end, right? Now, I don't mean the call, the arc needs to end. As Althea, over the next while, as you manage to, over the next weeks and months, you manage to fight off the need for the obsession about the Oaking, but it keeps drawing you back. And you know that eventually, you're going to give into it. Okay? I know it's not as cool as Marion's, but Marion was the what the fuck moment. Right?
What the fuck?
Amos.
You can't plan this shit.
Amos.
You were the one that looked in the well and then died. It just happened.
It might have happened a different way. Or not. I don't know how to explain it. But Amos, now this is the most important, Amos, over the coming days, you managed to get your film developed. You managed to get your film developed. You managed to get your film developed.
What do you see?
It's over now.
Well, no, I mean, the call is still...
The investigation for the photos were taken for
The photos
now.
get taken. the voters get taken.
Great.
That's it. That's all I got for it.
Gohl kills people.
Something else could have happened. But
I'd love for there to be just if real quick. It's
it's your
fun little
character.
clip. At some point, if Gohl is still with us,
yes, he is.
I want to at some point. I know more is probably going to happen, but whatever. Just sit down and be like, all right, what the fuck were you going to talk to me about? And that's it.
And you have a nice long conversation.
Over drinks.
Over drinks.
I'll cuff him, but over drinks.
I need to move on to Agatha, but sorry,
Yes.
Althea, I can say
This can wait until
That's good.
what is it first?
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say, with regards to Gohl
Yes.
and Amos, Barnabas said that Gohl killed people who deserved it because he saw something in them that was evil.
True. As we go to Agatha, is over the coming days, you really struggled. You're really struggling, and I guess you all are slightly struggling with the sacrifice that Father O'Malley has made. The Irish Wolfhound refuses to leave Mary inside, as if it's her protector. Okay.
In an action that would normally be considered out of character, Marion refused to leave the Irish Wolfhound.
Okay, that makes sense.
As we move over to Agatha. And I know I'm streaming through some time because there would be a time jump, but over the next days and weeks, Agatha, you've gotten to the habit of, with all of this happening and all the stuff that you've been dealing with in your history, especially to do with realizing ideas about your religion.
Yeah.
And what, not even really that, but what you believe in, which has always been a struggle for your character. Like being able to wrestle different things, and you've always been able to keep it make sense for you and make sense as a whole, but the situation and the things you've seen and heard down there. And the more you think about it with an alienist mind and seeing what this creature, which you've later found out to be named a Shoggoth, I just thought it was appropriate to say it at the time for the as a Shoggoth, and realized from what you could see it do that, were we an accident? Did it make us? Did it make everything? Was it a machine that was built to make everything? Were we all accidents and mistakes? And so you've taken this mentality to go on long walks. You've gone on long walks, trying to calm your mind and think about things and see the people of the city. And see people's lives, even though, buildings had to be redone and stuff like that, but to see every time you're at the Mansion of the Hill, you're reminded of all of this craziness. So you've taken to take some long walks. And one night you notice something as you're looking at people. You notice that some people seem off. Some people probably shouldn't be here. Some people are a threat as you just pat your murder knife. And I'll leave it at that.
So do we just start calling her Alberta now?
No, I never said Agatha did anything.
No.
I'm just saying, as an epilogue of where I sort of envisioned, and I'm hoping that the envisions I gave, it didn't take away agency. Because I never said you did anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying you saw something. And you get your pictures developed. And
you understood.
Right? And at this point, unless there's something that the cast would like to say, I would probably say that this is the end of the episode. And the end of this arc of the call.
Yeah.
Well, now what?
I noticed only 2 of you are clapping, you grateful bastards.
Abby, were you in the episode?
I know it's not perfect, but I really tried to make something cool, and it was impossible to do without this cast.
Oh.
Just fantastic. Fantastic.
I'd just like to say that what I had said about, Gohl killed people who he saw something evil in them, and then looked at Amos. We're still assuming Gohl killed Bill.
Oh, Bill.
But he might not have.
We will see.
That'll be a conversation that we'll have.
But that'll be
And also,
soon.
where's our epilogue for Skeet? Does he get one?
That was a great episode.
Yeah!
Thank you to my cast. Thank you to the wonderful Lindsay playing Agatha. Zach playing Amos.
Look at the
Sorry.
existential crisis.
Lindsay playing Agatha Bernhardt. Zach playing Amos Milton.
He's not dead. I'm shaking back.
Janessa Coles playing Althea Goodyear. Fantastic. And also, Liz playing, and I forgot Marion's name, but it's Marion. No, I knew it was Collins. I actually forgot Marion. We've been playing, this is a long episode, it's late at night, but playing Marion Collins.
Derek playing Skeet Wilson Bottom.
And, oh, fuck, you're like, well,
And
that's pretty
Father
good.
O'Malley. And Brangus Jones.
And,
Cadbury.
and also, last but not least, Rob.
The operator.
Impossible without Rob. Rob is fantastic. Yay!
Somebody thumb!
And hope you all enjoyed listening, and we'll see you
Fairly soon.
soon enough.
Thank you for listening to The Call. Arc 5 of The Call is planned to air in June. Until then, The Call channel will be home to The Call 1973. Join a group of investigators that are tasked with researching an abandoned hospital at the height of the Vietnam conflict. The first episode of The Call 1973 will air Tuesday, January 9th. Spacers has begun recording new episodes with Cortex Prime as the game system. Its air date will be announced once we have enough episodes to post. In the coming days, Ko-fi will be going through a bit of an update. We'll now have tiered subscriptions and have changed up and kind of cleared up what the rewards moving forward will be for both Derek's shows and my shows. If you are a current supporter, please take a look and review the changes. Most of the tiers will be getting a drop in price, but you can give us your feedback when you take a look at those new things when those changes go live shortly. As usual, we'll thank all of our donators over on Ko-fi, including Matt Cowgill, Josiah, Rosa, Tyler, Quill, 3 Slugs in a Trench Coat, TJ, D-Devil1193, Alex B, Noah, Alec, and Tavin. Music and ambient tracks licensed through Train Films and Artlist. Your players for tonight were Elizabeth Wells, Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, and Zach Barrett. Your producer was Rob Hickey, and your GM or keeper was Derek Snow. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.